The bank lobby was quiet, almost too quiet. Then the glass doors opened, and in walked a young black boy, no older than 12. He wore a school uniform, neatly buttoned, and carried a small backpack with a proud smile on his face. Clutched in his hand was a small envelope filled with hard-earned money he had saved doing chores and selling snacks after school. He approached the counter confidently, ready to deposit his savings for the first time. But instead of a smile, the woman behind the counter gave him a long, skeptical look and then smirked. "Are you lost?" she asked loudly, drawing attention. "Or are you trying to make a withdrawal from someone else's account?" The boy's face dropped. "No, ma'am," he replied politely. "I'm here to deposit this money. It's my savings." He placed the envelope gently on the counter. The woman glanced at the envelope, rolled her eyes, and said with a chuckle, "Savings? This is a bank, not a lemonade stand." A few customers nearby snickered. The boy felt all eyes on him. But no one stepped in. No one told the employee to stop. Instead, they watched as if it were entertainment. The woman leaned in, whispering, "Just loud enough for others to hear. People like you should know better than to play with grown-up things like banks." Despite the humiliation, the boy didn't run. He stood firm. "This is real money I earned myself. I just want to open a savings account," he said. The woman's tone turned cold. "Do you even have an ID? Or are you just wasting everyone's time?" The boy calmly opened his backpack and pulled out a student ID, along with a note from his mother authorizing him to open a joint account. But the employee didn't even read it. "I don't have time for games," she muttered, waving him away and calling the next customer. "Come back with a parent," she said sharply, "if that's even possible." Just then, the bank doors opened again, this time with purpose. A tall woman in a sleek business suit and sunglasses stepped in, phone in one hand, a briefcase in the other. The moment she spotted her son, her confident stride turned into something sharper. She walked straight up to the counter. "Is there a problem with my son's deposit?" she asked, her voice calm but clearly carrying weight. The bank employee blinked, clearly caught off guard. "And who are you?" she asked. The woman pulled off her sunglasses slowly, letting the employee get a clear look. "I'm his mother, and the CEO of this bank." The entire room froze. The customers, the other staff, even the manager who had just stepped out of his office, all stared, the employee's face drained of color. I didn't know," she stammered. "That he was my son," the CEO interrupted, "or that children can have dreams, that they can save, that they deserve the same respect as any other customer." The woman's tone remained composed, but each word struck like thunder. "I watched the security feed from the moment he walked in. I saw the looks. I heard everything." Turning to her son, the CEO smiled and took the envelope from his hand. "You worked hard for this. You earned every penny. Let's open that account together, like we planned." Then she turned back to the employee. "This isn't just about you mocking a child. It's about the culture you're spreading, where respect is based on appearance and not character." The manager rushed forward, apologizing profusely, but the CEO raised her hand. "Training can fix mistakes, but only heart can fix attitude. And this place," she said, locking eyes with the embarrassed employee, "will never grow unless people like you learn that." As mother and son walked into her office upstairs to complete the account setup, the bank floor remained quiet. The customers who had laughed earlier now looked down in shame. And the employee? She stood speechless, knowing she had just been humbled in the most powerful way. That young boy didn't need a suit or fancy words to earn respect. He already had it, in how he carried himself, in his honesty, in his dignity. And now, the world around him had no choice but to see it too. As the boy followed his mother upstairs to her office, still a little shaken but now comforted by her presence, he couldn't help but reflect on what had just happened. He never expected that doing the right thing, saving money, being responsible, could turn into something so humiliating. But now, with his mother by his side, things felt different. He had grown up watching her balance board meetings, community events, and his bedtime stories all in the same day. She was his superhero, though. She never wore a cape, and today she had proven that being strong didn't mean shouting. It meant standing up for what was right with calm, undeniable power. As they entered the glass-walled CEO office, she closed the door gently behind them and smiled. "I'm proud of you," she said, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You didn't let their ignorance crush your dignity. That's what strength really is." He looked up at her, his eyes watering but his voice steady. "I just wanted to show you I could handle it," he whispered. "I wanted to prove I was ready to grow up." She knelt down, meeting him at eye level. "And you did," she replied. "More than I ever expected. The way you carried yourself today, not many adults can do that." She opened her laptop and started the account creation process herself. But just because we're strong doesn't mean we should accept disrespect. We change the world by holding people accountable. Kindly, but firmly. He nodded, feeling a warmth rise inside his chest. For the first time that day, he smiled fully. Meanwhile, downstairs, the atmosphere in the lobby had shifted dramatically. The employee who had mocked the boy now stood quietly at the side, her posture stiff, her face pale. She had seen many clients, dealt with difficult people, and even thought she understood diversity and inclusion. But today had shaken something deeper in her. It wasn't just the shock of learning the boy's mother was her boss. It was the look in the boy's eyes. The disbelief. The hurt. The way he didn't lash out or cause a scene, but stood with dignity even as she reduced him to a stereotype. She couldn't stop replaying her own words in her head. "People like you should know better." What had she even meant by that? It echoed now, louder than when she had said it, and uglier. Her co-workers no longer made eye contact. No one was laughing anymore. The bank manager, Mr. Daniels, took her aside quietly. "We'll be scheduling a performance review," he said, gently but firmly. "And you'll be required to attend our full inclusivity training. No shortcuts." She nodded, unable to find words. This wasn't just about a job anymore. This was about the kind of person she had become in the silence of routine. Someone who judged others by age, race, and perceived status. But today that mirror had shattered, and she saw herself more clearly than ever before. Upstairs, the CEO and her son finished the account setup. "How much are we starting with?" she asked. $126.40, he said proudly. "I counted it 5 times. She chuckled softly. "That's how I know you're my son." She handed him his new account folder, complete with his name printed boldly across the top. "This is the beginning," she said. "One day this account will be more than numbers. It'll be your story, and no one will be able to erase that." Before leaving, she walked him to the bank's community wall, a space decorated with stories of clients who had overcome financial struggles, achieved dreams, started businesses, or gone from zero to successful. She pointed to a blank frame. "This space is for you when you're ready. You don't need to be rich. You just need a purpose. What will your story be about?" He thought for a moment, then replied, "About not giving up, even when people laugh at you. About standing up without yelling. About being kind, but not weak." She hugged him tightly. "That's the story the world needs," she said. "And you're already writing it." They took the elevator down together, and the silence that greeted them in the lobby was almost deafening. The CEO didn't speak to the employee again. She didn't need to. Her actions had spoken louder than any lecture. But as they walked out of the building, she paused near the front desk and turned to the rest of the staff. "Let today be a reminder," she said, her voice calm but carrying weight. "The next leader, the next inventor, the next trailblazer, they might not come dressed in a suit. They might walk in with a backpack and sneakers. Respect is not earned by how someone looks, but by how you choose to treat them." The boy looked around, noticing how the same people who had snickered earlier now looked ashamed. He didn't feel angry anymore. He just felt ready to prove that dreams don't have age limits, and dignity has no price. As they stepped outside into the sunlight, his mother put her sunglasses back on, and he slipped his hand into hers. "Can we get ice cream?" he asked suddenly, a grin sneaking back onto his face. She laughed. You just opened your first savings account and stood up for yourself like a boss? And now you want ice cream? He nodded. Yep, I think I earned it. She ruffled his hair. Yes, you absolutely did. Back inside, the employee sat, quietly, watching them disappear down the street. She had work to do, not just to keep her job, but to become better. She would write an apology, take the training seriously, and maybe even volunteer for the bank's youth outreach program. Because what she had learned today wasn't just about policy, it was about people, and sometimes it takes being called out, gently, powerfully, to wake up. Weeks passed. The bank's leadership team rolled out new initiatives to train all employees on unconscious bias, respect, and customer dignity. A framed story appeared on the once empty slot on the community wall under the title,